So I want to talk about something that is probably already in your head somewhere, is already worrying you a little bit, but which you really don't need to worry about. Not yet. Not ever, really. But it's human nature. And it's the subject of criticism, or worse, rejection. Now, I guarantee that you will get rejected, albeit by a publisher or an agent, even an editor. Or you will get criticised, potentially by an agent or an editor or a publisher. But certainly at some point by someone you show your work to. And that's the toughest part you'll ever face. That moment when you have to show your work to someone, it's really tough. And it will always be tough. You know, I've been doing this for 25 years, I still find it tough. That first time you send something out. But, and here's a tip. If someone criticises your work or rejects your work, ask yourself one simple question. Have you liked every book you've ever read? Have you finished every book you've ever started because you think this is rubbish? No, of course you haven't. So welcome to the club. It's happening to you for somebody else. And all criticism means is someone doesn't like what you've written or how you said it, or your book's just not for them. So move on. Now, two quick other things about that. First off, you don't need to worry about any of that yet because it's miles down the line. You know, you've got a long way to go along this path to publication before you get to the point where you're showing your work to anybody else. And by the time you get there, hopefully we'll have got you to the point where you're quite confident enough to show your work to someone else. That's great. But the other thing about criticism, and I always do this, I adopt this kind of 8 out of 10 rule. It's particularly useful on something like Amazon or Goodreads. I mean, Goodreads is a cesspit, but it's often quite useful in terms of reviews. Just ignore the worst and just make a note of the best, but generally ignore them. And look at the ones in the middle. And I say that because it's the 3 or 4 star reviews which contain all the nuggets. Because if someone gives you a 4-star review, it generally means not only have they read the book, but they've thought about it. And they'll put in their review little nuggets of information. Like, I didn't like this, there's too much of that, there's not enough of the other. That's useful feedback. That's market research. And it is, that's exactly what it is, it's market research. So take note of what people tell you, because they're the same people who'll buy your next book, probably. Take note of what they're telling you, embrace it, incorporate it in your next book, because that's how you grow and that's how you improve as a writer. Like I say, criticism and rejection suck, but they're great learning tools. They're your market research, but they're for the future. Don't worry about it now. Like I say, we're at first draft stage. Fill those pages, tell your story, develop your skills as a writer and your ability as a storyteller, and keep going and have fun.